Alright, this is soft slab method, and soft slab method is probably the easiest of the 6 techniques, but it's also kind of the most complicated because it allows for a lot of different styles and opportunities to work with clay, and of course I'm not going to be able to show them all to you. So I am showing you just a few examples of some soft slab pieces. This is one of the vases that was made by a student. This is an open bowl, and this is actually like a little pouring vessel that hasn't been glazed yet, so it's still bisqueware. So to work with soft slab, it's going to be the exact opposite of what hard slab is. So first, hard slabs are thicker, so they can get leather hard and stand up straight and strong, where soft slab is going to be very thin because you want it to be able to wave and be organic or curvy. Hard slab, you can only get straight lines, edges, and corners, where that's impossible with soft slab. So from the get-go, you need to know if you're going to work more curvaceous and organically, because then you know you can't use hard slab. And then if you want to work more kind of geometrically with straight lines, then you're going to go with hard slab. Hard slab, like I said, you're going to want a little bit thicker walls, but with soft slab, I'm going for thinner. So because I'm really stretching this clay out, I'm going to have to compress quite often to keep this clay strong and pliable. Soft slab really should only take 1 class period to make, and then perhaps the 2nd class period to refine it. With hard slab, you're going to cut out your pieces, and you're going to let those pieces get leather hard, and then when they're leather hard, you score it all together. Okay? Soft slab is the opposite. You are going to actually make the shape of your vase or your object while it's wet clay. And then when it's leather hard, you're just cleaning it up. Okay, so that's a pretty good thickness and flexibility for soft slab. So what I'm going to do is actually just kind of cut out a long rectangular piece, and since I'm trying to stay within 5 to 6 inches, I'm going to make sure that I use my ruler and that I'm aware of the size that I'm working with. Now with soft slab, I'm going to show you too that sometimes these nice natural edges that occur are lovely to keep, and I'll show you what we do with that edge. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit further, and anytime you do that, I've just kind of gotten some surface cracks and I need to get rid of it. Again, it's not just because it looks better, it's because it's stronger. That compressed clay is actually more flexible. It allows me to do more with it without tearing. So I need to keep it compressed. All right, so this long wet clay slab, I'm going to stand it upright, and I'm just going to start waving it and curving it around. Okay, to kind of get the shape that I want. You can go, into a cylinder shape, not a problem. Okay, or you can get creative and see what happens. Like this person kind of folded it in the middle. This is the technique to really play around with waves and curves, so do that. Okay, so this is the edge I was talking about on the outside. I really like that natural edge, but I do need to kind of smooth it in on the inside. Just like coils, I have to smooth in one side in order for there to be a permanent connection. So if I want to leave that outside edge raw, I do need to smooth in the inside edge. Okay, notice I have not made a bottom yet. That's gonna happen when it's leather hard. Also, I haven't spent any time like cleaning up the edge or cleaning up the surface, because you can't do that with wet clay. This is as far as I can get today. I'll put a plastic bag over it, I'll let it get leather hard, and then I'll come back to it and finish it up. But this is all that's gonna happen in the first class period. Okay, now I'm gonna check on my soft slab. I stored it in plastic loosely overnight. And when I take the plastic off, I have a leather hard body, and this is workable now to finish up. So basically what I want to start with is, if you notice, I've been saving to put the bottoms on the second step. So I went ahead and got myself a slab. Okay, I'm going to set this piece onto the slab and cut around the piece. Remove the excess. Since this is leather hard, I'm going to need to score the bottom. So get my scoring red. I'm going to rough it up. Okay, you can see how thin those walls are. Okay, little fingertip of water goes on the score marks. Then I join them together. And then honestly, what I like to do is paddle it down. That's going to make a nice strong connection, and then I can smooth in the edge. Now, that is an option though. If you remember this picture that I showed you, sometimes, again, that raw edge is very attractive. So you can keep that edge if you like. It's a great place where like glaze kind of pools up and makes a nice transition or break. So those are your choices, creative choices as an artist. Okay, I suggest that you experiment and maybe try a piece with a smooth bottom, try a piece with where you keep the raw edge, and see what you think about it. Okay, I'm going to keep the edge. So because I'm not like smearing it in, I do want to be sure though that it's well connected. Making sure that I've paddled every spot. That's kind of the look that I'm going for. What I like about soft slab is it behaves and it looks like fabric. So I like to sometimes just enhance that quality and keep that look. Okay. So the one thing that I do want to do is kind of clean up this edge. So a carving tool with the X-Acto knife blade is the best tool to use for that. It'll give you a nice clean edge. It's the sharpest tool. that we actually have. It's a lot sharper than a fettling knife. So if you're trying to get a cleaner edge, I definitely would not use a fettling knife. It's too, it does not have a sharp edge at all. Go around, and then after I clean up my edge, a damp sponge is going to be probably your favorite tool in the cleanup refinement process, because it really does smooth things and soften things. Look at how quickly, and when I say damp, I mean damp, not wet, how quickly it softens that edge. It took it from kind of sharp and lumpy, and it just really smoothed it out. Remember that when things get fired, you know, they become stone. That's what ceramic is. And if you have a sharp edge when it's soft, wet clay, it's going to actually be a very sharp edge once it's fired clay. Sometimes, you know, uncomfortably sharp. So you do need to take that into consideration, especially when we're making functional objects. Now you want to be really careful not to re-wet it so much if you use the damp sponge, because you don't want to like reverse a stage. So I'm in leather hard right now. I don't want to make it so wet that it goes back to wet clay, because then it will completely collapse and just kind of disintegrate. So you can't really go back to reversing stages unless we're just straight up reclaiming. That is, you know, kind of the only time we want to reverse it that much. And once you're happy with the cleanup, then get your initials on the bottom and it's ready for the cart.